thank you everybody for joining us for the May session of the Link Builders Cubicle Party, where we just talk about what we've done for the month, what we did last month, and any tips or tricks for future. So I just wanted to kind of celebrate what we did last month because we did so much. It was our record-breaking month since we started this challenge back in January of last year. We had almost 5,000 links built back to over 3,300 ancestors. So, and we had 42 participants. So it was a really good month. And let's check, see how we're doing this month. So I just refreshed this score sheet, and we are currently at 2,802 ancestors, and that is with a total of 3,671 links built back to them. So that's where we stand. And of course, we still have, I think, about 5 days left in the month. So we still have time to get it up there. And we're up to 36 participants so far. So another good, strong month. And if anybody's interested in the statistics, I grab this this sheet each month and pull it into this Google sheet. So I can always get you guys your monthly stats if you'd like those. And I have stats by site as well that I track. So just for the people who like mathing. All right. So let me go ahead and close out of this. And
is there just the three of us on today right now?
Yeah. So far.
Okay. So can I ask? Okay.
Go ahead.
I have probably newbie questions, so
That's okay. That's what
I
it's
don't
all
want to
about.
put up the normals. So I kind of joined because um, our historical society, which can do web content
Uh-huh.
for here in Downers Grove, Illinois. Um, we have a sort of a what I call an encyclopedia area of the history of Downers Grove. That's a little overstated, but we put biographies about residents,
Yeah.
former historical residents, early folks from the 1800s, and some of those folks have WikiTree profiles,
Awesome.
largely because of because of me, because I tend to pump a lot of stuff in there too. Um, so we have a decent but small reputation in terms of the big SEO world, if you will. We shouldn't have any strong negatives, but we're not a big player. So putting a backlink to a WikiTree profile, I think I've put a few of those in over time, maybe a very small handful. Um, is that helpful? And does that
Definitely.
show up in the other column?
Yeah. Yep. Yes to both.
And then what is it that triggers the um, how does that get counted? Is that a manual process that you say I did this, or is
Yeah.
there since it's on a different site, I don't know how Alish would find that unless
Right.
you start pouring through backlink software. But
Here's a profile I did. And so from any profile, if you go to the profile menu and then the challenge tracker,
Mhm.
that's where you track which sites that you linked to. And so
Is
other
that
is,
can I still get to that when I do an update and then there's an option
yes.
to click on that during the update? Okay.
Yeah. The
Um,
link for challenge tracker takes you to this page. So either,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
either way.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. And that's how
Maybe I'll
you get
try
to
and sneak
this.
one in this week, at least to get on the scoreboard.
That'd be great.
And then what you can
I'm in
do
Musty
is when you
Dusty, so
click
I'm
other, Marty, when you click other, and then you can write in your website, your historical your site.
Yeah, other is fine.
okay.
Yeah, so this is an example Wikidata page, and this is just, I'm sure you've seen that the WikiTree person ID. This is how,
Yep.
yeah, where it's entered.
Yeah, and I've done a few of those, so it's been a while, but maybe
Yeah.
I'll now that I've got the this project in mind, maybe I'll put that a little more effort into that. So, because I do look at those suggestions, and I have a spreadsheet that tracks sort of week by week, like there's you just showed, that shows how well I'm progressing in terms of knocking down those suggestions. I've got the bloodline suggestions, and then I've got the all suggestions. So I go through those roughly every week. Sometimes
Yeah.
I take some time off. So the goal is to try and get those down as small as possible.
Yeah.
And knocking these off this would probably be a good way to knock off a bunch for direct ancestors. So okay.
Nice. Yeah. So, do you
What is
have
it? So can you go back to? Oh, I was gonna say, what's the most common? Can you go back to the list of you had one where you showed the different sites, and I think one of the views might have been sorted. That where the links come from, or on one of your monthly stats,
Oh, yeah.
like how many come from Wikipedia, how many come from
Yeah, so these are
Wikidata,
the
how many
ones
come from
where
FindAGrave?
somebody entered that they added a link to that site for an ancestor on the scoreboard. So using the
Okay.
challenge tracker.
So
So,
family search, I do see people putting them on there. And do we have, you don't have to show them to me, but do we have a little example of how we prefer to have
yeah, I
them
was
put
going
in
to
there
walk
in family
through.
search?
Yeah, I was going to
Okay.
walk through some of these main
Where,
different ones. Yeah.
oh,
So,
so family search, I know. I'm more curious on Ancestry, and how the heck would you put it on newspapers.com?
yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so here's an example profile I got queued up for us.
Clippings.
And
Okay.
just going to grab the ID. And what I do is I just go into sources on family search. You can also leave a note too, but adding a source is kind of nice because you can actually put a citation in there. So this is how I get started when I go through my spiel. Here's ancestry record, right, for this gentleman. And I prefer to leave the information on a birth, marriage, or death record, or a record like this that does have their birth or death information on it. So you can clearly see that it's that person. So you just go to this public comment section, and you can leave that there. You could leave the full link if you'd like, the URL. It's just not clickable. It's not a clickable link. So somebody still has to copy and paste. But I'm going to show that in just a second. I'm not going to hit comment yet. I'm going to use the full URL.
Yeah, okay, cool. I never commented on a source.
Yeah. So here's FindAGrave. Most people know about this one. So with FindAGrave, you can have your own scrapbook, and I've got several different options here. And that's all it is. They don't allow the full URL. So that's all we leave. I just call it a breadcrumb, basically. If I manage the website, if I manage the memorial, I go ahead and put it in the biography as well, with an explanation that there are sources and biography and family tree at that link, or at that place. And then over here,
Okay.
So the next thing I grab is the URL and go back to family search, and I put that in there. And if we go here to the ancestry record,
Discogs is for artists
yeah,
that have recordings.
yeah.
Okay. I haven't been there for a long time. Okay.
So I'll show that in just a second. But here's ancestry. So I just had to refresh the page. Every once in a while it gives me an error message, but usually it's no problem. There it is. So somebody can just copy that and go there. but so it's more like a breadcrumb again, because it's not a direct link. So the other
Okay.
place that
So you're Anonymous Jones?
yeah. So
Okay.
the other place is Arlson Archives. We've worked out with them that we can leave a standard comment on a record for somebody. And so I leave it on this one because this is where his death record is. So that's what that looks like. It's like some of the other places, it has to be approved. So it takes like a couple days, I think. Those are some of them. And let me go ahead and do my point. Oh, let me get the citation and add it to family search here, finish this up. And then you go down here and you can put that this citation, you know, it tags those if that information on his profile here. So now it'll show that there's a source for the name, birth, and death.
Okay.
And so that's what that
Okay.
looks
Yeah,
like.
I would tend to put in as source rather than as a collaborator memory in there. So okay.
So that's what that looks like.
Cool.
Okay, so here's Discogs. And we just did a spotlight on Eddie Van Halen from Friday last week. So I forgot to update this page. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that now. You just click on the link. You have to be signed in with them, and it takes them a while to approve you as an editor. So just kind of keep that in mind. Just be patient because it seems like it takes forever. But so you click the edit artist, and then you have to click it one more time to actually get into edit mode. And you just go down to the web links and you just put in the link. And so this is the full URL.
Okay.
And it is allowed. I've done several now. And that's all it takes. Oh, and so you have to submit, and then you have to submit again. So, and then they have a page where you can track what you've done, your submissions and drafts. So you can double check on what you've done there.
Well,
And then if we go
okay,
over,
maybe I'll try that.
if we go over to his IMDb page, that's another place where you can add or edit it for them. So
What's involved in being an editor on IMDb? Because at one point there's like a premium that you pay for, and I'm not
yeah, you
that
don't
motivated.
you don't have to have premium account. I just have a free account. And
Okay.
oops, I didn't mean to. It took me right back up to the top. Sorry about that, people. So you just go down to the bottom of the page where it says contribute and then hit the edit. And then down to the bottom of the page again, links to other sites. And then in the miscellaneous section is where we're going to add one item. And then you hit continue. And I've done a lot of these, so it shows up the same thing. So I can just and then you just check the updates that you're putting in.
And given that they have a link section, these probably are appreciated or at least not discouraged.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with them at all.
Okay.
And then you hit submit these updates. And you can track your contribution history as well on IMDb. So you can see all the ones that I've done. Let me show you what we're doing, what we do for newspapers.com. Let's see, I know I've done one this month already. Let's see, newspapers, here we go. So what you can do on these is right here in the title of the clipping, you can make it that link or that same thing. So see, I have it, her first name, and then I have her WikiTree ID on WikiTree. So it's not a full URL, but it is a breadcrumb back to WikiTree.
How about, yeah, that wouldn't, it's not obvious that that would be picked up as a backlink from an SEO point of view.
That's right. But that's not all we're concerned with, right? I mean, we're spreading the word whichever ways we can. So this is a way where somebody who sees this article on newspapers, right? They say, oh, what is this WikiTree? You know, that's why I call it a breadcrumb because it's not a direct link. It's a, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the article in question. So then on the side here, on the left-hand side, you have an option to leave a note. You have to be signed in again. And that's all that takes.
Oh.
So that's what we do for Trove. And then the next examples are the fandom sites. So there's places like Wikipedia where you can leave a direct link back to WikiTree. Another one is TARDIS Wiki. So if you go to a person's profile page.
Please tell me we're only.
So it's just a wiki. So we're all pretty familiar with that. You just edit the page. Here we go. It's external links. And then you can just go into edit mode down here and just leave the direct link to the profile, or you could leave a citation if you wanted to. It's however you'd like to do that. I just want to double check. Do we have Russell T Davies on WikiTree?
Is he living? I got to admit, I'm not a doctor. I don't dislike doctor. I'm just not in. I just don't know a lot about it. So
Yeah, he's living.
he's living.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it a little more
He's
challenging.
the producer of the current series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have a page yet. So, but anyway, that's how you would do it if he had one. That's where you would leave the link. So that their fandom sites are really great because I mean there is a fandom site for practically anything out there, right? Baseball, you know, movies. So it's just anything really.
Individual artists and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really great because you can edit them because they're a wiki and usually don't have a problem. So let's see, what else? Was there anything else that somebody wanted to see? If anybody blogs, that's another way that you can link back to WikiTree. Of course, those are full links, so that's like really great.
Okay, well, I hope to get somewhere at the bottom of the leaderboard by the end of the month or next month. So
nice. That's great. Great to have you join us.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think the next thing coming up is the Saturday roundup. I don't think we have anything else until then. So we'll see you guys around the tree and hopefully see you next month if you can make it again for the Link Builders Challenge again. Bye.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.